Uh-oh, they were closing the coffin. Welcome to Ryotaro, Japan. Today I'm a little bit quiet because I'm in a temple, my family temple. It's not well known, but in Japan, people will experience 3 religions in a lifetime. When you're born, Shintoism. When you get married, Christianity. And when you die, Buddhism. And today I'm going to show you a little bit about that and what it's like to die in Japan. Hey little guy, it's your first day on Earth. That's right, you've just been born. Welcome to the world. Ugh, a face only a mother could love. Anyway, like I was saying, usually in Japan, newborn babies are taken to a Shinto shrine for a tradition called Omiya Mairi. Parents take their newborn child to their local shrine to thank the gods and wish for a healthy and happy life for their new baby. And by gods, I mean multiple. Japanese Shintoism teaches that gods and spirits exist everywhere in Japan. Everything is believed to have a life, and there are multiple number of gods and spirits that will protect you until you die. We ask the gods to protect us when we drive so we don't crash, ask for blessing from gods before we build houses to make sure they will be sturdy, and even ask for the gods of study to help us pass tests, which is a lot easier than cheating and a lot less effective. So when your mom tells you to stop kicking the table, in Japan, she'll tell you, don't hurt the table because it has a life yourself. But really, she means stop being a little shit. But it's not only this. We also have a tradition of believing our ancestors become guardian spirits after they pass away. So it's not only the gods that protect us, but our ancestors too. So when you manage to avoid a dangerous situation and say, thank God, in Japan, it's more like you're saying, thanks, Granddad. But enough about that. You've just been born, little child. It's time to get out of the house, you lazy little They grow up so fast. That's right. You met the love of your life, and it's time to get married. What's that? We should get married at the shrine for a traditional Japanese wedding? Nope. It's time to accept Jesus. Over half of all weddings in Japan are done in Christian style. You marry at the church, the bride wears a white dress, the groom a wedding suit. There's a foreign priest for some reason. Actually, usually these guys are just part-time workers, often English teachers. 私の名前はジョンです。カリフォルニアから来ました。ハンバーガーが大好きです。Beautiful speech. These Western weddings are seen as more popular among young people, even if it's more of a fashion thing than any real connection to Christianity. But oops, look at that. Now you are dead. Oh no, you died. But what happens if you die? Nobody knows. Well, nobody knows for sure, but I can tell you what a lot of Japanese people believe about afterlife. When you die, your soul goes on a 49-day trip called Chuin to the world of the dead, called Meido. After 7 days, you will have to cross the Sanzu River, or River of Death. You have the choice of choosing a path with a raging stream or gentle flowing river, and your family in the real world will light incense and pray for you to make sure you choose the right direction. Every 7 days after this, the 10 kings will judge every sin in your life. And your relatives pray for you at the same time in an attempt to try and lessen these sins. On the 35th day after you die, the Grand King Emma will decide where you go in your next life. Like heaven or hell, but there are 6 tiers. Kind of like having a black American Express card, but instead of better interest rates, it's eternal suffering. So that's your life after death. But how about the funeral itself? Japanese funerals can be a complicated procedure. So to give you a better idea of how they happen, I decided to head to Tohoku's biggest funeral hall in Sendai. Traditionally, funerals in Japan used to take place at your own place. But nowadays, it's quite common to be held in a place like this, the ceremony hall. Let's take a look. So let me just show you how I should give a prayer in a real funeral. This is altar. And there are usually there is a photo of that person in the center and there's flowers around. But thank God there's no one's dead today. This is where monk sits and monk gives a chant to the person who died. And this is where you eventually stand after the chant was given. The monk instructs the people to come to the front, and we all line up, and one by one, you burn incense together with giving a prayer. Let me just do it for you. Get the pinch of this is the incense, dried incense, and this is burning. So try to burn incense on a stone that's burning hot. Prayer. And you leave. And there will be a line of people. So you just give the prayer one by one, and eventually all people are done with the prayer, and the monk starts chanting again. And also, in front of me is a coffin. It's quite obvious, isn't it? Look at that. So it's got futon in it. And apparently, this is like a special version. They have like a special futon that costs about $500. This will be only used for a night because it will be cremated on the following day. It's not good manners in Japan to stick chopsticks straight onto the rice. Reason why? Because you only do this at the funeral. Another tradition I want to mention is, when the body is cremated, there's a part of the funeral ceremony where the bones of the deceased are passed from chopstick to chopstick by the family members or the close friends. This is also the reason why it's considered bad manners to pass food from chopstick to chopstick in Japan. But how much does all of this planning cost? One of the staff who helps organize the funeral proceeding was kind enough to tell me about just what goes into the planning a funeral in Japan.
まず一番最初に見ていただいているのがこちら祭壇になるんですけれども、こちら祭壇で100万円セットという商品になります。100万円のセットですね。で、あくまでもこれ100万円のお花だけが100万円というわけではなくてですね、この会場を使用する料金だったりですとか、日本のお葬儀で必ず使うようなものがセットになっての100万円というような料金設定になっております。なるほど。
So around 1 million yen for the funeral settings. But Kusakabe-san also told me that there are other options that you can pay extra for, including different clothes that you want the deceased to be cremated in, or even wooden replicas of things like golf clubs or fishing rods to represent their hobbies. And since there are different ranks in caskets and coffins, this is also an extra cost to consider. The one I got to see was around 500,000 yen or $5,000 US, but they can go all the way up to 1 million yen. But if my family is going to be paying that much, I need to check whether it's comfortable first, right? So, here's the coffin. And look what I'm going to do. They gave me the special opportunity to go into it and lie down. It's been said that when you go into coffin, when you're alive, it's been said that you live long. So I'm going to try that because I like to live long. Shall I? Wow. $500 futon. My coffin. お願いします。Wow, not bad, not bad at all. I think this is going to be my last time to go into the coffin and talk about it. And I think next time I'll be in it, I don't think I can talk about it. So, uh-oh. I didn't think they were closing the coffin. So there is one phrase I like to teach you today. It's good night in Japanese. Oyasumi nasai. Repeat after me. Oyasumi nasai. お願いします。おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい。 Another thing to note is there are some other traditions before the funeral. One is called otsuya, meaning passing the night before the actual funeral. After someone's death, usually the body will go to the place where he or she used to live, and the family will spend the night with the body together, and then they'll bring the body to this kind of ceremony hall. But some people, for various reasons, they cannot take the body back to the house. So instead, they'll bring directly to the ceremony hall because they have a room where they can lay the body down there, and with a bedroom, with a shower, with all the amenities. It's like a hotel. And so you can use this room for nights until that ceremony. And the whole price of using this room is included in the price that I mentioned before. This kind of room is very unusual, and this, I think, it only exists in Japan. This is my family grave. Unlike in the West, where the people are buried individually, this is a family grave. So anyone who's under Sakurai family, after remains are cremated and become ashes, they'll all be placed inside the same space in this grave with other family members. Often in Buddhism, when you die, they'll give you another name that you can use in the heaven or paradise, you may call it. So in here, they actually carved the name you were given after the death. And also, you have the real name that you are using before the death, and the date and year that you died. And in here, I've got my great-grandfather, great-grandmother, and then a brother of my great-grandfather, and then grandfather and grandmother. I just found out that some of them, there are some two people here died on the same day, which was 10th of July, and I just looked it up, and that was the day that that was during the war, and there was a bombing, the huge bombing in Sendai. Even I'm learning my family history today. The final tradition I want to mention is called Obon, which is held on the 15th of August every year, and is a time when relatives will gather to visit the family grave, and it's said that the souls of those passed come back for the one night. It's a little bit similar to the Day of the Dead tradition in Mexico, or similar traditions, so as long as there's someone to remember you, you continue to live on in spirit. By the way, we also believe in Japan that if your family didn't properly help you get to the afterlife, then you become a spirit or ghost stuck in the world. I personally am planning to haunt Chris for eternity if this happens to me. So that's it for the video. I hope you learned about the end of life here in Japan. So next time you come to Sendai, maybe not. So I think I gotta go. All right, see ya. Have a nice day.これ清月期の方で絶対なんか菅原さんに内緒でここに寝た人いますよ絶対にバレないように寝れるっていう